So in this section, we're going to talk about single prints to the upside. And with single prints to the upside, like that means there is a short position and that there's no supply. And when a market takes off to the upside and separates two distributions separated by a single print, it just means that there's a short position. So you can always look at the volume because it acts as a vacuum. And when you see the low volume in these single prints and you think of the vacuum concept, you know that those were buyers who could not get filled, right? So single prints to the upside, lack of supply, buyers that cannot get filled, that means there's a short position. So when there's a short position, remember, people shorted the retail, which means someone sold something that they don't own. So let's break this down into a logical way where we can remember it, right? Remember the new Xbox that just came out? When they sold all of the ones on the shelf, the store had no supply left. The people who wanted the newest Xbox had three options. They could ask a lucky customer who was able to buy one of the Xboxes off the shelf, "Hey, can I buy this from you?" Now you're at the mercy of whatever price the Xbox owner comes up with. And this is like a market executed order. Or the customer who wants to buy the Xbox can buy it from the store. He can approach the counter and be like, "Hey, I would like to pay for my Xbox right now at this price, and when it comes in, like I get it." That would be known as like kind of like a limit order. The customer is saying like, "I am willing to pay the release price of this Xbox, and whenever the supply comes in, I'll get it." All right? And the third option is going to be an example of a short position, right? So the teenage employee sees that you, the customer, are very desperate about buying an Xbox. So he pulls you to the side and he's going to short the retail, right? He says, "Hey, I deal with downloading all the trucks full of Xboxes when they come in, and I'm going to sell you one now under the table. And when it comes in, I'll sneak one off to the side and give it to you." Now, I say sneak one off to the side. Now, would be illegal in GameStop to do. However, the market, this is not illegal, but they get you to conceptualize it. Like, I'm going to use this example. So he says, "I'm going to sneak one off to the side. You give me the cash right now." And in the back of his mind, he's thinking, "Hey, I know the Xboxes are $499 right now. And that's because that's what they released them at. And I know in about 2 weeks, when we probably get some new Xboxes, they'll probably drop the price down to like $200, $300. Now, two things can happen in this scenario. In 2 weeks, the price returns and you get the Xbox comes back into the store, you get your Xbox, and even if the price drops or stays the same, the employee gets either breaks even or he makes a profit if they do bring down the price. And so this is very hard for people to like really grasp. So I'm going to just say it one more time. Like, the employee pulls you to the side, he sells you something that he doesn't own, aka the Xbox, right? For $499. In the back of his mind, he knows in 2 weeks the demand will go away for this Xbox. They're going to drop the price of the Xbox to $200, and he just profited, $300 off of you by selling it to you now, something that he doesn't own. And that is the picture perfect short to retail, and that is how they become profitable doing it. However, in a market like this, where supply goes away so quick, let's play that scenario out, right? So he sells you the Xbox for $499, thinking that he's going to profit. However, let's say there's a chip shortage, right? And that chip shortage prevents Xbox from making more Xboxes, just a very, very few, right? And so when every time Xbox comes to the store, the manager has to control them every moment, every single Xbox that comes out of the truck, he has to see go on the shelf, and he has to give them to the customers that are doing that did a limit order, a pre-mark, like they pre-bought the Xboxes when the supply came back out. They were the first ones to get it, and then whichever ones that didn't have a pre-order have like the market execution, right? The guys who said, "I'll pay right now whatever the price is," right? Now the employee is now stuck. The employee that sold you the Xbox is now stuck and trapped, right? And he's facing the stresses of losing his job if you speak up, because he has to provide you an Xbox, but he can't buy one. And nowhere, GameStop, Best Buy, nobody is selling them. So that is what a short position essentially is. And that's how what is happening with single prints to the upside. So now let's transfer to the charts and see what it looks like and kind of explain the concept here. So I have a market profile chart and a candlestick chart. And as you can see right there on the left, we'll start with the market profile chart, where you have those single prints that separate the two distributions, right? So let's say we know that that area is a gap, right? Those are buy orders that never got filled, right? And as we see price return to that area in E period, let's say, well, it didn't make it back into those orders. That's a clear indication to tell us supply ran out. If you are short, you probably should get out of that short because this thing has no supply, and this is a good indicator on when not to be in the wrong position at the wrong time. So if you look to the right in the candlestick on the wax, right between the two yellow lines, you see that majority of the body, well, all of the body is buyer aggressiveness, and you see that the candlestick has not returned that area, making these single prints, and that's what it looks like on the candlesticks. All right, guys, I hope this class helped. If you have any questions, reach out. You can also see this in the structure class that's built